San Francisco, known as one of the most beautiful cities in the world, but beneath the picturesque views is a dark side. The city of San Francisco is considered one of the 3 worst cities for human trafficking in the U.S. Human slavery is flourishing here in California. Most of the victims are young women and girls. There's an initiative aimed for the November ballot that hopes to increase victims' rights and toughen the current human trafficking laws. And joining us this morning to talk about that is Daphne Fung of the California Against Slavery, the group that is spearheading this initiative. Daphne, thank you so much for joining us. Let's start with just how prevalent human trafficking is here in the Bay Area and also in California.
Well, you know, this issue is a covert crime, and the numbers are difficult to come by, but the U.S. State Department said that at least 17,000 people are brought into the U.S. every year as slaves. In addition to that, our own children, American minors,
yes.
At least 100,000 of them are being sexually exploited in the commercial sex industry. So you think about how big California is, we probably have the biggest issue here in our state.
Sure. Also the fact that we're a border state, we also are in the Pacific Ocean, Pacific Rim is close. Who are the victims that we're talking about here?
Well, 80% of the victims are women and children. And the victims are, you know, there's a reason why they're women and children, because currently the whole slavery today is psychological control, and the easiest people to control are the people who are most vulnerable, which is children.
Especially those who would come from a foreign country, don't know the language, don't know the culture, and they are trusting the trafficker.
Yes.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah. Yes, that's one of the issues, right? But the other issue is also, like, American minors are being trapped in commercial sex industry. It's called the pimps, right? Pimps are recruiting these girls and selling them for rape.
Right. What happens to the victims, generally speaking?
Usually the victims are being exploited. Right now, many of them are exploited for in the commercial sex industry, like I said.
Yes.
And they are usually excluded from the rest of society, because that's part of the control. They're usually raped as well as part of the whole mind control. And in addition to that, they're threatened, right? There's some form of coercion as well, psychological coercion or physical coercion. In addition, we do have many people in Southern California that are being used in the labor, in the agriculture, in the factories there, and then we also have people who are working in, you know, construction and hotel.
How do they break out of this cycle of slavery?
Well, that's the difficult thing, right? Right now, the first part of our initiative is the training of law enforcement, because we need to know how to identify these victims.
To recognize the victims, yes.
So that we can rescue them. The issue right now is there's a lack of awareness in our community, as well as in our law enforcement community, about how to identify and recognize these victims.
Tell us a little bit about the initiative and what it aims to do to try and rectify some of these problems.
Well, the initiative has 4 prongs. The first thing is it's increasing the penalty and the fines for human trafficking so that we can deter these crimes. And the second thing is it makes it easier for prosecutors to prosecute these cases by eliminating some of the barriers to bringing these traffickers to justice. The third thing is it increases rights for victims and protection for victims. The fourth is it mandates law enforcement training on how to identify and rescue these victims. And voters can go on our website and download, print, and sign the petition through our website.
That's what I was going to mention, is that you have a March 31st deadline to get these signatures signed. And the website is californiagainstslavery.org, which you see on your screen. And you're having another step in your petition drive taking place this coming March 31st from 7 to 9 at the Peninsula Covenant Church in Redwood City, taking place there. You need to gather some 600,000 signatures, is that correct?
Correct. Okay. And the 600,000 signatures allows us to submit by the April 16th deadline to the state. So we're, you know, that really just gives us room to count and verify the signatures.
Sure. Okay. And people can also sign up online as well.
Correct. They can go to www.californiagainstslavery.org to download the petition and sign.
All right.
Great.
Daphne Fung, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Let's turn now to Henry.